7 o'clock, call this meeting to order. You all join me in the pledge of allegiance to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A reminder to the viewing public, call-in number for tonight's meeting is 930-8189. 930-8189. Item 3 on our agenda, roll call. Show all board members present, please. Item 4, acceptance of our August 1st meeting. The minutes of our August 1st meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion remains seconded to accept the minutes of our August 1st meeting. Any discussion? There being none, I'll call for vote. All those in favor? 5-0. Acceptance of agenda.
I have no 11th hour, and we do need the executive session.
Make a motion we accept the agenda. I'm sorry. Yes, the agenda
As amended.
as amended.
Second.
Motion remains seconded to accept the agenda as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Item 6, open to the public. Anyone public wish to speak at this time?
Yes, I think we do.
Good.
My name is Michael Schneider. Live at 8 Nichols Street here in Searsport and have for the last 3+ years. Found it interesting, I just did the Pledge of Allegiance with the portion in there, liberty and justice for all. My son has been threatened by his mother since September 18th of 2015. It's been brought to the attention of the Searsport Police Department. As a matter of fact, roughly a week ago, I had a chance to speak to our town manager, Mr. Galloway. He told me that, and I'm not going to put words in your mouth, Mr. Galloway, so please feel free to jump in. He said if memory served him correctly, the police department called the district attorney's office, and the district attorney office said they didn't have jurisdiction. I got news for you guys. I've called every police agency in every large town in this city where I've received a phone call from this woman causing the threats. All of them say it has to originate in Searsport. Nothing's originating in Searsport. 5-6 years ago, there was a protective order out against her. It was violated. It was turned over to the Searsport Police Department. They did absolutely nothing. They didn't even investigate it. Chief Day did have the decency about a year ago to apologize for me for that. DHHS got involved, found the threat to be credible. The original threat where DHHS got involved came from St. Joseph's Hospital, where she said she wanted to shoot my son, this gentleman right here, and herself. These threats have gone on intermittently, and she made the same threats in several hospitals around Maine. I'm aware that it was done at Maine Medical Center in Portland, and also at, shoot, I'm drawing a blank now. I can't think of the name of the hospital now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we've been terrorized by this for a long time. I spoke with Ms. Sue Pope, who was assistant prosecutor for Penobscot County until about a year ago when she moved to York. She happens to know Aaron, and she said that if this could get brought before her, she could get 18 months in prison for this woman, even as a first offense, for criminal threatening and terrorizing. I would maintain if any of you all have children, I would guess how you would feel if one of your children was threatened repeatedly by a woman to murder them. We are not getting what we pay for from Searsport Police Department. They haven't, well, I don't know, the Supreme Court has ruled they have no obligation, no duty to protect. And I got news for you, we're paying for a police department that has no duty to protect and apparently no desire to protect. So why are we paying for them? Why don't we let the county handle the police department functions in Searsport? If Searsport Police Department cannot or will not, for whatever reason, investigate something that is well documented and perfectly within their capability, they can go get what's called a Clifford order. I'm sure Mr. Fithke knows everything I'm talking about right now. It's almost impossible for me to do it. It is possible, but nearly impossible. And all these public documents can come to light, and this woman could be arrested and prosecuted. I have a hard time buying. As a matter of fact, I went to the district attorney's office shortly after, about the same day after talking to Mr. Galloway, and they denied they ever said that they had no jurisdiction. So I'm not casting any aspersions on Mr. Galloway about what I'm about to say, because he's been straight up with me and honest with me every time I've ever talked to him. But somebody's not telling the truth. Either the Searsport Police Department is not telling the truth, or the Waldo County DA is not telling the truth, because these two things cannot be mutually true. It just is impossible. So one or the other is prevaricating. Let's just put it in just call a spade a spade. It's a lie. Somebody, one of the two offices is lying. Now I'm bringing this before you guys and hoping that some kind of justice will be done. If we have a police department, they need to act. If we don't have a police department, they need to be disbanded, and we need to have our police services handled by somebody that has the available resources, perhaps, or the competency, perhaps, or whatever it is to actually do the job. My son would like to say something to y'all too, if y'all don't mind, a 7-year-old speaking for himself.
Yeah.
Aaron, this is the time to tell you.
I really don't like the Searsport Police Department because they won't help us keep me safe. And they want to sell my toys. Now they can get government to help me keep safe.
He came to me 2 days ago and said he wanted to have a yard sale to sell his toys so we could afford to hire a lawyer. Now, I cried for about an hour on that one. And I imagine any of you all that had a child that came to you with something like that would have probably done the same thing. Now, is there any possibility of you 5 gentlemen getting the Searsport Police Department to actually act, do their duty, and investigate this?
James.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
step out.
I'm not coming here with a story. It's well documented.
I know. What do you know about this incident?
I think Mike pictured it pretty well.
Yeah.
My memory was that we were informed that there was a jurisdiction issue, but again, a lot of people have changed positions even since this was first brought. And I was going by what memory I have left of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't directly involved. I took it from the last time you were here, actually talking to the Board of Selectmen about issues. So we can dig into it, and the chief is watching from home and is commenting that his case originates out of the Penobscot County. But that's not the whole story. That's just what he wrote.
Penobscot County will tell you, if you call them. Bangor Police Department will tell you, Brewer Police Department, Portland Police Department, Waterville Police Department, Augusta, Lewiston, Auburn, all of them will tell you that because we live in Searsport, it has to originate in Searsport. Frankly, I think that's bull, because in most jurisdictions I've ever heard about, wherever a phone call originates or wherever it's received, a crime takes place in both of those places. But everyone, I can call state police, and they told me they don't get involved unless it's a murder. They don't get involved for threatening murder. So they said it also had to be originated in Searsport, and it just hadn't been done.
Mr. Schneider, when's the last time a complaint was made?
Well, that's a good question. I couldn't even tell you.
That you made a complaint.
I've been talking to Chief of Police about this several times, and nothing. But does it matter when the last time was?
Yeah, I'm trying to establish a timeline. When was the last time something happened and you made a report?
Well, I made another complaint while Chief LaHaye was on vacation. I didn't realize he was, in fact, on vacation. But, another complaint was dropped off at the Searsport Police Department while he was on vacation. I don't fault Chief LaHaye for being on vacation.
That's fine. I'm just trying to get it. When was that?
That was the last time, was while he was on vacation. Mr. Galloway told me he would be back on the following Monday, but it turned out the police department said actually Tuesday was day back.
So like a week or so ago?
2 weeks ago, roughly.
So that's the last time you asked for some help?
Yes,
What officer did you deal with then?
I filled out a form and had to drop it off because no one was
no
there.
officer, okay.
That's another problem. We use the county for a dispatcher, And if you're lucky, there's one policeman actually functional on duty, and I assume there's one on call that can be called out from home. And this is all well and good. I mean, we are a small town, and normally small towns don't have major problems. But when they do, I don't believe that the Searsport Police Department is up to handle it. And I'm sure there's some kind of way they can request help from a larger department that has a better ability to investigate. But if we're not going to go anywhere with this my son has been threatened multiple times to be murdered. The woman tried it when he was 2 weeks old, and it came down to he said, she said, because I walked in on it when it was happening, and the prosecutor in Bangor declined to prosecute after a year-long investigation because it was only my word against hers. Since then, she's threatened over and over and over again, many times, and there's a record of it in medical records of various hospitals around Maine where she's gone and voluntarily admitted to singing the song and dance that she wants to kill him. She's under protective order right now. It's a 2-year-old one. It expires in October. Because she's gotten away with it so many times, she feels perfectly free now to petition the courts for visitation. I'm thinking, what kind of idiocy is this? I mean, I don't think a court's going to grant it to her given the circumstances, but nonetheless, she's gotten away with this repeatedly, on and on and on.
So the protective order is still in effect right now?
Excuse me?
The PFA is still in effect right now?
Yes, I don't remember the date, but it will end in October, and I will, of course, be requesting it to be renewed.
It says no contact at all?
No contact, direct or indirect. Now, it's not against me. She can talk to me all day if she felt like it, but my son, she could have no contact with, direct or indirect. And guys, is this not an egregious situation? I mean, I know you guys don't generally talk to the public, when we come in and present what's bothering us, because you hear, you look stoic, and you ponder it, and then you get together and figure out what you want to do about it. But this young man has the right to be alive. Her reasoning for wanting to kill him is so he doesn't turn out like her. She thinks her life is so miserable, she wants to commit suicide and execute my son so he doesn't grow up like that. I say give him a chance. Let him make his own decisions on what he wants to do with or without his life. This is terrible. This is beyond terrible. I don't sleep at night. My girlfriend, she stays awake all day, and I stay awake all night. So there's somebody at our house awake every minute of every day because we don't know what will happen. Maybe nothing, maybe something. Who knows? But you'd be an idiot not to take precautions, and we do. But there's a limit. I mean, this has been almost 2 years now, and I've had all I can take. And I don't know, guys. You tell me. I mean, I think, honestly, liberty and justice for all. How about some justice for a 7-year-old boy?
James, does this need a formal complaint filed with you?
Seeing if we can set up a meeting with the chief. You haven't met with the chief since he's been back?
No.
Okay.
Now, as a matter of fact, you had mentioned that you were going to call the State Attorney General's office and have Mr. McMillan get in touch with me. I haven't heard from him either.
Okay, I sent a report out. So
thank you, I appreciate that.
We're waiting on it.
And again, gentlemen, I have no complaints with Mr. Galloway. As far as I know, he's been straight up with me the whole distance. I don't believe that I've ever heard anything but good things from him. He's been helpful and cooperative. That's my view on it now. So I'm not trying to cast aspersions on
sitting
him.
with you, we just don't have an answer from DA, AG, chief, or anyone. So like I say, I'm in contact with him here and trying to see if he can make an appointment for tomorrow.
So I came to Mr. Galloway both as our town manager and our state legislator. And I've also asked him to sponsor or co-sponsor a bill requiring medical providers to notify a parent, the custodial parent, or in my case, the sole parental rights person, when threats are made against a child. There's no law in Maine that requires that. The best that happens is there's a law in Maine that allows the person doing it to possibly not face civil charges for breach of patient confidentiality. But there is no law in Maine that requires a provider to let the parent know. They have to let DHS know, they have to let the police departments know. That's it. But they don't have to let a parent know so they can take precautions for their children. I found out about this when DHS just knocked on my door and told me that this woman was making threats to kill him yet again. And this is just plain crazy.
Has she received mental health services?
She terminated mental health services about 9 months ago, voluntarily. That's another thing in this state is, I don't know if you all ever know too many people involved in mental health, but if you blue paper or commit, you don't blue paper, if you commit yourself, it's a voluntary admission, and they don't have to let you out when you want to get let out, but there's no crime, no foul. There's nothing held against you. You're still allowed to possess a firearm. You're still allowed to vote, the whole 9 yards. Because in the minute someone says, we're going to involuntarily commit you, you say, I volunteer. And that's it. All your rights remain intact. In many ways, it's probably a good thing because, since the Kennedy administration closing down many mental health hospitals because there were abuses, we're putting people in hospitals unnecessarily or improperly, we have streets littered with the mentally ill now with nowhere to go. And I think you all know that. I was just reading the other day, Bangor has slots for 15,000 meth patients. Now, this was in the Bangor Daily News a few days ago. 15,000. Bangor has a metropolitan population of a little over 35,000. Now, admittedly, some of these come from counties outlying and around, but nonetheless, it's insane, and this is crazy. In this particular case, there's a DA, again, Sue Pope, told me that she could get 18 months, even with a first offense on this woman. That would give me 18 months of sleep. It would give him 18 months of not having to worry about being killed. That's 18 months at least.
Okay, James, you're going to set up a...
Yeah.
Okay. And you will inform the gentleman?
Are you available at 1 p.m.?
Tomorrow I have to be in Bangor. There's a free clinic that lawyers in Bangor do on Wednesdays from 1 to 3. So I'm going to that to try to get some legal advice and assistance. So 1 o'clock would be difficult, but I'm free all day Friday if that's possible, or I'm free earlier in the day tomorrow.
I'll work it out.
Like I say, Mr. Galloway's been great. I trust that he'll work it out. I don't have any complaints about our town manager.
Yeah, James, if we could figure out, if it's one thing, if it's, there's an investigation and the DA and the law enforcement officer feel that whatever evidence they have isn't enough, that's one thing. But if it's a matter of no one is claiming that any responsibility, so no one's doing it, someone's got to be doing it. So there should be some clear direction.
Mr. Galloway has an excerpt of a letter from her where she admits that she threatened to kill him.
So if everyone's pointing their finger at each other, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Okay, well, there's nothing we can do tonight.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm not expecting a miracle.
Appreciate talking to us. And James will get to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you all looking into it. But we're going to go ahead and leave because I'm sure there are other business y'all have to get to, and I've been more than like 3 minutes, I'm sure.
I can guarantee you what we are concerned about this, and we won't ponder it too much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I hope I didn't put words in your mouth. Excuse me?
11 o'clock tomorrow?
Sure. I hope I didn't put words in your mouth, seriously.
11 o'clock is it. Okay. You'll be meeting with them at 11, with the chief at 11.
Do you want to reschedule our meeting, or are you good?
You got anything?
He needs to meet with the chief, not me.
Item 7, old business. Fire assessment report.
Yeah, last year and even earlier, we were talking about capabilities, and the last time that we had our fire assessment done, it was actually in 1991, and at one point we were looking to see if anyone still did that. Bud and I met with Neil Courtney. I've put together a packet for you of Neil's capabilities, a CV, and in fact we're listed as one of the towns that he's done that for. And he'd certainly be willing to come back and do the same proposal for us, probably from the time that report was done. And I tend to think there was one done in the 80s too.
The report was done, I don't know about
From the-
92 to 91, he did the study, 92 the report was issued.
And I
We had his date of 92.
from that point, for probably 10 years, that report was used as a guide to get us up to a better standard for equipment and for response capability. And then we kind of lost track of the report, but it did exist, and we gave you a copy of it last year. surprising to find that Neil was still still in the business and still able to help us if we were interested in having another report done. In fact, we budgeted through EMA and Park and Fire Department to fund such a report.
What's the cost? I noticed that those parts are not there.
Second email followed up with us. It's $6,800 to do the comprehensive look.
Not the entire cost?
Yes.
6,900.
6,900, sorry. I read it wrong.
And what budget would that come from?
It's split between the fire department and the EMA department.
Yeah, if we had to, I could take it all out of mine.
Is the fire chief any thoughts on that?
Well, he budgeted half of it. I don't know. I haven't spoken to him probably since March.
About anything or about this?
No,
Talking about anything.
no, I thought
No.
the day that you had the meeting up in the North Station, I talked to Andy about this, and he said that I had found Neil because we were trying to decide who could do it. And his reaction then was, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I haven't, he was unavailable the day that we met with Neil, and I haven't heard from him since about, he was just kind of letting me take the lead on finding somebody qualified to do it.
It is a benchmark for us. It's something, I'm sure there's going to be, deficiencies and recommendations, but you've got to start from someplace, and this is someone that's got a career-long record of helping towns find out where they're at and what they need.
Okay. I think we should proceed.
Yeah,
You want a motion?
certainly.
Make a motion that we contract with Mr. Courtney to conduct a fire assessment report and allocate $6,900 split between the fire department and the emergency management.
That's 69, right?
69. What did I say? 68?
And authorize the town manager to sign.
And authorize town manager to sign the contract and split the cost between the fire department and EMA budgets.
Second.
Okay, motion been made and seconded to authorize the town manager to enter a contract with Neil Courtney for an amount of $6,900, which will be split between the fire department and EMA. Any discussion?
Is this gonna harm our budget in any way, or are we
No.
strong on this?
Yeah, we budgeted for it.
Cost us $6,900, but
Yeah, but that's not
gonna help the budget.
It's not gonna cause us not to go out
No.
on a fire call because we put that money in
Not
this,
at all.
okay.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Item B on the old business, advertising for full-time position in the wastewater plant.
I'm gonna ask that you table this to your next meeting.
Okay.
I am working on some possibilities to continue with the person that we have, so
All right.
we'll talk about that.
I'll move the table.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to table item B. All those in favor? Item 8, new business, Route 1 traffic problems.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
There you go. A couple of residents have asked that this be brought to the agenda, and they're not here, but I do want to put out that I have a contact information. I've shared this with everyone that I've come in contact with who's had an issue, and the company was Dagen, D-A-G-E-N Transport, and their number is 518-427-9624.
This is the company cutting the trees, or what?
No, this was the company that got stuck with the windmill components.
Oh,
And I actually had a really good conversation with the manager of the company the weekend after it happened. As it turns out, they never moved that part. It went back down the road to the site. It didn't get out. And the manager, who happened not to be here on the day that they moved it, explained that they had two different trailers that moved those pieces of equipment, the really heavy pieces. And one has rear steering, so they can pretty much get anywhere, anyway, anyhow. The other one has a fixed axle on the back. And for that particular trailer, they need to pull the stop sign out and drive up on the curb, which is all graded and graveled, and they've moved other components that large on it before. The driver didn't realize that he had to do that, and that's why we got stuck. They're very good at what they do. They're very professional, great contact with the manager, and even have direct contact with them now that we didn't have before. And they moved both those Monday morning at 4 a.m. and didn't have a single bit of problem.
No, it's never been an issue, and I think that day was just a nightmare. I mean, there was an accident too, and just like, this is just...
The first time they did it, first truck out the gate was stuck for several hours, and then they figured out the mix. And this person knows exactly what happened. It's very obvious what happened. So, but anyone contacting you, you can, as a board, have them call me, and I'll share that number again, and they can make a claim.
I know a concern was expressed to me about what if there'd been an emergency over on the other side. But emergency vehicles could have gotten through there. They ran some semis, northbound semis, down around, and it was able to worm them through. So
we always have the ability to get around. It's just a little further. Right. They go back to Prospect and across the back Searsport Road into Mount Ephraim Road and down into town and around. It's
some northbound semis were getting through there.
Yeah.
By going down around Navy Street through Wayne's Yard.
Oh yeah, that would work.
Yeah, because I saw them going by my house.
And they were breaking off some limbs, but they were getting through.
Yeah, so emergency vehicles could have gotten through to that end of town.
Yesterday morning at 4:28, they were passing Tozier's Market with it. All kinds of strobe lights, blue lights, everything.
They've also changed their pattern to be earlier. So,
if there's concern about that road being blocked, there should be an automatic dispatch of Stockton Springs come in from the other way. The first one there gets the problem.
yeah.
Did you get to talk to the complainants?
Yes.
And they now understand that why?
Yep.
I mean, but it wasn't just that. I mean, not to belabor the point, but the tree cutting was a major issue.
Yeah. The busiest weeks of the summer, first 2 weeks of August, they decide they're gonna park in this chokehold out here and do the trimming.
So, but it's done.
It's done anyway.
It's done. The traffic's improved, so.
But you had something?
I had a comment that I wanted to make on this topic, if it's okay. I noticed during some of that blockage that there was traffic being diverted somewhere, and it was coming out Savory Road.
That's where my wife was diverted.
Okay, and I'd like to point out to everybody, to you guys and the police and whoever's talking to them, we do have an emergency detour sign still set up that should take them. We should cut traffic off over at Route 1 and send them up Hawes Bridge Road, right by the Prospect Fire Station, up North Searsport Road, Nichols Road to Mount Ephraim Road, because those are the roads that when we did the surveys and set up the emergency detours, that are capable of taking the tractor-trailer rigs in both directions. How they get over in, I know we had a problem, and there are a couple of signs on Harris Road and Green Valley Road that Stockton put up that say emergency detour. I have talked to the Stockton Emergency Management Director and again about where our emergency detour routes are. If you need to, if you get into something like that, call me, I'll come down here, set up a one-man EOC and coordinate the emergency detours with whichever towns and police departments we need to. Because it may be that the people who are diverting the traffic are not aware of where our emergency detour roads are.
You know, that Howard Bridge Road is great for 1A traffic, but it's not very convenient for Route 1 traffic.
Route 1 traffic, what we do, and we've done this before,
You can send them, if they come in stock, send them up over the hill to Prospect.
that's right. We put an engine over at, and we cut traffic off when we had
At
that,
the intersection.
we had that fatality with the truck over at, was it Sears Island Road or someplace right in that area, where we had to send people up to Prospect and up around the back to get them. And you have to explain to people, you have to have somebody out there that can explain to people where they're gonna go, because that's the rolling road that's really capable of handling Route 1 and 1A traffic. If we have to cut it off between the town line and Mount Ephraim Road.
Well, my wife was sent over, dust-choked dirt roads there when she came out the Savory Road, and she should have never been, because we live, up toward the town line that way.
And
So she was sent all the way around, and she had to come through the detour up Navy Street, and so she had to go through the thing twice.
And that's why what we need to do is get somebody to call out, either me and or the fire department, to set up the detours,
If
because
they could have had a second person there, and she could have told them, well, I live right there.
that's right, that's what happens when
And
people
so-
show up and we've got somebody standing there and she says, we're gonna say, where do you live?
It was no
And
need
if you
of what
live
happened.
between where the event is
Yeah.
and where we're detouring traffic, we let you go through, we let locals go through.
She should have been let through.
And
It
that's,
took her an hour and a half to get around.
yeah, and that's partly I keep trying to, the other thing that we have is we have 14 emergency detour signs over there that we can put out to make it even clearer where you're supposed to go.
There were corners out there that should have had a person out there directing them. There was some that were, you get up on George Road out there in Prospect, and we were coming out on George Road, then we were going on the roads that were paved, and the dusty roads.
Yeah, and you're not supposed, those roads are not capable of taking the traffic, which is why we didn't do that.
Somebody from Prospect got on the air to divert, to send them up, just the way you said it, send them like over to Mount Ephraim
Yes.
Road.
Because we're all set up with Jim, Prospect Fire Chief and Prospect firefighters, they've got the signs and everything, they just pull a truck out of their station and they put somebody there.
Yeah.
We have, in the past, taken one of our trucks down, I was down on Route 1 and 1A with engine 1 time on that truck accident, sending people, you have to tell them how far they go, and we've learned that we have to tell them, go till you see the next fire truck, and they'll tell you when to make the next turn. That's why we put people.
You bump into people that cannot speak English in those cars too. And when you got someone out there that don't really know what intersection they're standing at, it's quite a mix. It belongs on Comedy Central to get these people going the right way.
That's right, which is we have those set up. The stuff in downtown Searsport, the one choke point that we have is between Mount Ephraim Road and Prospect Street. And that way, the only way around that we have, and you like to not have to send heavy truck traffic in both directions, is you gotta send them up Mount Ephraim and across Old County Road and back down Prospect Street.
Any other discussion on this?
No, I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just glad it's over. Hopefully it won't be that bad again. Thank you, James.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Correspondence.
Public notice of routine program changes into the main coastal program has come in due to changes in 128th legislature to the Office of Coastal Management, Department of Marine Resources, main coastal program. and the DEP, LUPC, MCP, DIFW. Basically, there were changes to rules in every department that affects the coast, and we're getting notice of them. Next is a revised memo from the school administrative unit, letting us know that our assessment has changed, and it's less than what they first projected. I believe if I did the math, it's about $30,000 a month. The next item is, a few pages behind that, is an important notice about our health trust benefit changes. They will be made effective January 1st, 2018. They're not huge, but across the board there were changes to all health trust programs. The next three items are changes that were given to us by the code enforcement officer in his position as the addressing officer. New addresses added to different locations. Map 2, Lot 36A, 2 Deer Run Lane is a new address. Map 3, Lot 25, 311 Mount Ephraim Road is a new address. And Map 3, Lot 62A, 116 Bowen Road is a new address. And the last item is a information packet from the MRC. It's their new newsletter. I think it's quarterly.
A new neighbor in Bowen Road there, James.
Yep. Going to be.
That's it for correspondence?
That's it for correspondence.
Okay. Item 11, treasurer's warrant.
I'm going to approve those pending our signature.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the treasurer's warrant upon signature. Any discussion? All those in favor? Department head reports.
I think you had all of them.
Move to approve those.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the department head reports. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Selectmen's report. Dick, you have anything?
No.
Doug?
No, but, Dick brought up the mistake in the
I
earlier,
was gonna speak to him after, but that's okay, we can get it out.
code enforcement program is missing an R. Last sentence, first paragraph. On your use.
On me. Okay.
You see it?
I don't know what page you looking at.
The Deer Run Lane.
First,
Oh, okay. That's actually, I don't get to claim credit for that. That's Randy's report. I'll pass it on to him though.
right. No, I wasn't referring to you. I was referring to you as in the
Gotcha.
problem.
Wait, that's in there, you say?
Needs an R.
Well, here, we'll give you one.
It's right above old address, Jim, on that page, you'll see. Letter as a permanent record for you address.
U address, I got it. I will get Randy to correct that.
Mark, you have anything?
Don't worry.
Yes, I would like to publicly thank Cindy Dalton for this generous donation of 6 of these original Union Hall plates that was given to the Historical Society Saturday during the Maritime Heritage Days. And I think it's very nice that we got some of these back in town.
Very cool.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Derek?
Yeah, we have the public hearing for the fiscal year change, and I think we're probably discussing the assessment. We're dovetailing those two things, how we're phasing that in. James and I, if it's okay with you, James, we're meeting at 11 tomorrow, kind of put together a proposal, if anyone wants to join us,
Okay. Love it.
here, unless my court event goes long, which could, to kind of put something So we'll have a proposal, so if anyone wants to join us and
Yep.
partake, it's not closed session or nothing. And then Oak County Road, James, where did I see some asphalt on that?
So they've been paving nonstop. They've completed Seacon, Savory, Black, not Black, Seacon, Savory, Black Road North, Dickey Hill Road, part of Bog Hill Road. They've moved, I believe, onto Loop Road, but they've been nonstop. I know this is in the queue. I don't think they have a rhyme that they're going north and they're coming south. It just, we held this one up because we had a little additional ditching that needed to be done, but it's ready for them as soon as they can.
So Oak County Road, the ditching's done?
Yes,
We got some nice roads in town.
we're getting there.
Jack, you done?
Yes.
While we're talking on pavement, the other night, Saturday night, Chief Leahy wanted me to take notice of the condition of the asphalt in front of the ambulance bay out there. If we're gonna have foot traffic at night, maybe we should take a look at putting some fresh pavement down in there and where it connects to Route 1. I saw stuff fly off an engine one day when they went out of there because of the holes. The truck shook it off Kennewick Homes.
My wife complained about that
Yeah,
very
we-
spot
we-
during the dance the other night.
I talked to them on Saturday about the possibility of adding that as an overlay, but I didn't bring it to Bob yet. We'll still talk to him. We have a little bit of capacity now because some of the roads didn't take as much material as we had bid them out for. In particular, Station Avenue, we only put 2 inches of binder because the water district is not ready to put the larger water line down. So we couldn't finish it. That was scheduled to have 3 and 2. So we have a little bit of capacity. In fact, we're going to push on to do some overlays that we were kicking down the road. And this could certainly be one of them that we could add to it. We'll be talking about that tomorrow.
Anyone else? I just want to say, everyone felt Heritage Weekend was a success. We had no complaints. We're going to be getting together here shortly to kind of review the weekend. And if there's enough interest to do this for another year. So I want to thank everyone that worked for the past few months putting this together.
Congrats.
I think Jack needs a particular thank you for that event. He spearheaded, they had a committee. I didn't make many of the meetings, but I think Jack made everyone, called them all, and was kind of a little taskmaster, made people do things, even made me do a lot of things that wasn't on my schedule. And I think Jack deserves a real thank you for keeping this spirit in this event going, and I do think it's worth another weekend. And I also want to throw out the fireworks for our first shot at doing it away from the water. The reports I get are just, they were fantastic. It came out pretty good for an on-land sided event. So
Yeah, we had people around us that were saying it's the best they'd seen anywhere.
Where were they launched from this year?
Over on
That was
Mutland Road,
in Vermont that week.
right in the street,
I went?
right in the street on Mutland Road. But they were non-commercial display. But they went up a long way.
Yeah, it was a great,
But at times, you look
great
up,
fireworks display.
they're right in front of you.
Yeah.
But at times you look up and it's like the whole sky, a big lighted umbrella.
That's interesting. Okay.
Really.
And the cost difference?
pretty considerate.
Yeah.
Half the
It should be,
price.
yeah. I'd
Half the
say.
price.
Half the price.
Cool.
And the superintendent's building was not set on fire.
It didn't
but-
catch fire that we know of.
Public safety building is still there.
That's the one you want to keep.
Fire trucks nearby, however.
Oh, yeah.
And charged hose, and
Yeah.
we were
All
prepared
prepared.
for the worst,
Very cool.
but it came out good.
Yeah,
Thank you,
they were
Jim.
terrific.
You definitely, if it wasn't for you, I don't think this would happen. So.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Jack.
Well, again, open to the public.
I want to make one comment. The Saturday afternoon activities at the Public Safety Building, we got some people, there was very sparse traffic in there.
Yeah.
And we got some people that came up to our robotics display that said that they hadn't, that they advertised, that they didn't think it had been advertised widely enough, at least what was going on there. It was.
I know
the
there's hundreds of those folders were made up here that were distributed.
Well, the issue was, I think the things that happened in the afternoon at the Public Safety Building were kind of an afterthought. When the robotics team leader there, the teacher brought it forward, we were trying to find the best place to put them, and I think that's a great venue to add to.
Yeah.
When we talk about what we need to add next year, maybe some sort of crafts or show or something along with...
Something more to bring them over there.
We didn't have enough to bring them that way.
What we did do...
And we need signage.
We did do, well, I know the fire department was trying to sell food, and there was some, the Hush people were trying to sell food. We had a bake sale and the robotics thing. We got maybe a dozen or so people. We stayed, we came back for the street dance, and we got a lot more traffic, and
Right.
and we were able to make some decent profit on the bake sale by being there during
Right.
the street dance.
Yeah.
And that was just on the fly. We talked to the chief and we talked to the fire department, and they said, can we come back tonight when there's something else that's gonna draw traffic? And that's how we recovered from it. I know we had, I'll work on the coordination with the robotics team and stuff like that in the future. I know we had come in early to say we wanted to participate, and then there was a long delay between when we got information back.
Well, like I say, there's already talk about what can we do next year.
Yeah.
And hopefully next year we can have more activities over there. In some downtown, on the street maybe.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Right, give people a reason to stop and...
Well, last year, our activity was in the area where the...
Right down on the lawn, right down the crescent.
Right down in the crescent where the singers were going on, and there were lots of things. Everything seemed to be, all the traffic was in there, so it was considerably more traffic.
Yeah. Because now they got that fish weir down there, so...
Yeah, that would have been hard.
No, we could have run a robot around inside the weir.
Everybody told me they wanted, to be sure to tell them that they want Rock and Rollin' back next year.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, big hit.
Yeah, well, the good part about them too, they've got a big following,
Yeah.
so...
I was just wondering, I figured we might...
I recognize very few
I
people
figured
there.
we might get some people younger than you and me, Jack, if we...
Yeah, didn't get many.
They were a lot older.
Actually, the feedback I got when I said that was some of the young kids were interested in that music.
Yeah.
Some of the younger folks. So I was surprised.
There was one couple there, I don't want to talk all night, there was one couple there, I would say, probably in their late 70s. The only time they
were
sat
dancing
down
away. Yeah,
was to watch the fireworks.
Yep. Yeah, they slept good that night, I bet.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we will...
I want to bring up one thing
Okay.
so the public knows and the selectmen are aware. The actual reevaluation of town, the assessors are here and they're making their visitations to houses. They have letters from me, just to let the people know that they're official. They have identification badges. The police department has information on what they're driving and what their plate numbers are. So they're going to be knocking on doors, asking to, look around, and people should let them in if they want to come take a look. The thing about that is if they don't come in and look at the amenities of your house, they guess at what's there, and that leads to some confusion later on. You can always challenge. There'll be a chance to challenge your assessment, but this is a very professional company. They've laid it all out, and I just want everyone to know they're going to try their best to get to most of the houses of town to make it even.
Will they come back if it's not convenient or if
3 times.
somebody isn't home?
They'll try it 3 times. And they have door hangers and they're really, and you can call in and say, we missed you, come back. And, because we really do, like you say, it's not to try to catch things that you're trying to do wrong. It's trying to give you a fair shake so that the town has an even assessment. So, but they're very professional and they're on the road, they're here, so they'll be here for months to come, and they're legitimate.
We just got our floors redone. I wish I would have waited now.
Hey,
Go home and mess up your house and then go home.
Timing.
Aaron, just let the kids
Tax
run,
and tab paper on the side of it.
Yeah.
just let the kids run loose for a little while.
Yeah, well, it smells bad. Maybe that helps.
Anything else before we go to executive session? Yeah, take a motion to go to executive session.
Second.
Yeah, I move that at 7:50, we exit regular into executive, in accordance with 1 MRSA 456F, confidential records matters, discuss general assistance and poverty abatement requests.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, we're into executive session at, what was that,
7:50.
7:50? All in favor?
Actually,
Oh,
I
yes,
make a
sir.
motion that at 8:02, we come out of executive session back into regular session.
I'll second Aaron's motion.
Motion made, seconded, come out of executive session at 8:02, back to our regular agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
I will second Mark's prior motion to adjourn.
I'll repeat that.
Want
Motion
to
to
make a
adjourn.
motion, take no action on executive session?
No, there's no action to take. I'm just gonna bring it up later.
Second on the motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion made, seconded, to adjourn. All in favor?